Thank you, Representative Mariani. We're not taking testimony today, and the interim director has been present at many meetings and could have come forth and offered any advice that he wanted to bring on behalf of the board. And Representative Mariani, I am disappointed in the letter of the signers because not a one of these has come to me to express their concern that the July 1, 2018 date will not be a good time to implement this. Representative Mariani, I started last fall working with the Board of Teaching, of which you know I'm a former member, on the rules. They had rules ready. We discussed them at 2 specific meetings. Senator Pratt and I gave input, as did Minnesota School Boards Association, Ed Allies, other groups that I see in the audience were present and gave input. Our expectation was that when January 1 rolled around and the new board took over, that they would reconstitute the rules on which they had worked, to which we had given input, made suggestions. I even met in my office with the interim director and one of the board members to propose that they go forward with the rules without violating state statute, which they were doing on about 3 of them, and that seemed very promising. But the administrative law judge has laid out for us, or for the board, I should say, a roadmap so that these rules can be in place July 1 of this year, so that we have the tiered system in place. And to that extent, I think we need to move forward. Maybe something will change in the future, but I don't think so, because the board is negating the responsibility that they have, and that's to take those rules they have in front of them and move forward. And it is possible, based on the ALJ's recommendation, it is possible to accomplish this. So with that said, Representative Mariani, I'm recommending a no vote on your amendment. Representative Mariani.
Madam Chair, it's unfortunate that the chair will not take testimony because there is a lot of information that's missing for the members here. You know, quite frankly, Madam Chair, the ALJ's decision sets up a totally unrealistic timeline. You know as well as many of us here that part of the rulemaking process involves providing prescribed time of notice for the public to be able to weigh in. That's how we invite, as legislators and the executive branch, the public to be part of the process of making vitally important decisions, which is what rules are. It's how we breathe life into laws. It's how we implement the laws. It's vitally important that we get that right. And so our rulemaking process has both a long and an expedited timetable in which we can do that. What the ALJ has laid out for the PELSB board is totally unrealistic. And probably not surprisingly, because quite frankly, in my opinion, not in my opinion, my experience, as great as ALJs are, administrative law judges are, they're not always experts in the given field that's in front of them. And so, Madam Chair, there's more to say about that, but the bottom line here is that we can put our head in the sand on this issue. And quite frankly, what we're doing is rolling the dice with whether or not our entire tier system could collapse in and on itself through litigation that can come forward. I don't know why any member, I don't care what party you're at, you know, would not take the steps necessary to avoid litigation on something so vitally important. And Madam Chair, I don't think the PELSB board is attempting to negate its duties whatsoever. They moved expeditiously. You were involved, as you shared with us, as were others, in helping them move and weighing in. And unfortunately, and I don't know the details of that, we should hear from the interim director, we had an action come forward to challenge the very process by which they were engaging the public and then having an adverse decision saying, you know what, you can't use most of that, you're going to have to go over that ground all over again. Oh, and by the way, here's a timetable that's totally unrealistic for you to follow, in order to meet that July deadline. It seems to me the only logical thing we should do, and the only responsible thing we should do, is to extend the timeout so we get this right. We're not changing anything in the tier system. We just simply want to get this right. And Madam Chair, I'm disappointed that you would not entertain this. I don't know when during the last few weeks we would have had an opportunity for the PELSB board to come forward, because there wasn't a bill, on the PELSB board on this issue at this time. I introduced a bill. We didn't get a hearing on the bill, And so this is our only recourse, is to offer an amendment as we're constructing this omnibus bill. So, Madam Chair, I'm going to ask for a roll call for this bill. I think this amendment, I think it's really that critically important, and I think it's important that the public knows who's taking a responsible posture relative to making sure that the law that we're implementing, that we created in a bipartisan manner, will actually work, and whether or not we are going to invite litigation or avoid litigation this year on this law. So I ask for a roll call.
A roll call has been requested, and keep in mind the governor did sign this bill. The governor did sign it, and even in his first letter, he did not cite that this was an unworkable timeline. The clerk will call the roll.
Madam Chair Erickson?
No.
Daniel? Mariani?
Yes.
Barr?
No.
Bennett? No. Bly?
Yes.
Christensen? Russell?
Nope.
Haley?
No.
Jessup? Kunish Bodine?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Make Wade?
Yes.
Fryer?
Yes.
Rarick?
No.
Erdahl?
No.
Ward?
Yes.
There being 7 ayes and 9 noes, the motion does not prevail. The amendment is not adopted. Members, we will stand in recess until the call of the chair, or 5 p.m. in room 200. And there is a press conference going on outside this building, this room, so you may want to take a different exit. The meeting stands in recess.